safaris and all that shit where they're, killing the animal, abuse of the animal, taking it out of its natural habitat, is sucky. But man, what a great life, right?
You get to sit around do nothing.
I
People
mean,
feed
if you're
you.
at a good zoo, if you're an animal who is like at a zoo where I don't know, they give you good food. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, what is, you don't have to hunt your own food, okay? But if
Yeah,
they're giving you good food, if I was an animal, I would much rather be in a zoo.
yeah. Which which
Hello,
later
everyone.
on might
It's
be
a
something we
pre-show.
were talking about in a comic book. I'm going to be in my top three. Ooh, spoiler
Man,
alert!
the comics suck this week. I barely was able to put together a top three, man.
I got a
And I
top
don't
three.
know what the fuck you're talking about with animals. I guess we'll see when we get to that segment, which we'll do last. We got some news and what we did this week, or whatever. A new comic publisher has finally announced new comics. An old comic publisher is also announcing new comics. And Elena Belova. That's it. Sorry, y'all. This close to Comic Con, they save all the news. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
We'll also talk about Secret Invasion. It's a cool episode.
Comic Con is around the corner, so that's where all
Right
the
around
big
the
news is
corner.
going to come from.
And this year, it really is all about comics. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's done bowed out. Writer strike, the actor strike is looming, and
Yeah,
now I hear there's a strike for the hotel workers in Southern California, which may extend to San Diego. Right now, it's just one union in LA, but you know how those things go. That's how unions work, solidarity and whatnot. But yeah, nothing else really going on. If y'all know something, let me know. Thanks, Robinson, Ashley, Elizabeth, for liking things. There she is. Or he. Yes, there she is. Hey. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. We're just talking comic books.
yeah.
Just saying.
But three
But what
Heart
else,
emojis.
man?
We'll
Yeah.
take it. We'll take three Heart
Anything else?
emojis.
Anything else we should talk about this week?
I'm not sure if you want to talk about the Superman casting or not.
Yeah, we can. We can if you want. I mean, what's his name? Cecil Spannin or something, or
Yeah,
Shishel Shawarsky, or
basically he's the
he's a dude who looks like Superman.
yeah,
I
he
don't
looks
get
like
it.
Henry Cavill. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, I
Henry
guess
Cavill looks like Superman.
yeah,
He's a dark-haired, handsome guy.
yeah.
That's Superman.
That's all you have to
Okay.
be is a halfway decent looking muscular dude who
You don't even need to
has
be
got
muscular. Christopher Reeves had a dad bod, and he's one of the most
that was
beloved.
that was
He's
back
always
in the
in the argument.
'70s. That was back in the '70s when you could get away with that.
I don't
You
know,
probably
man.
can
That's
nowadays.
also when they were doing like the Lou Ferrigno and Arnold Schwarzenegger. There was ways to get muscular back
Yeah,
then and not way overdo it like these bodybuilders do. But I don't know. Dude could put on some pounds if he needs to. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He can hit the gym. I'm actually more excited about the casting of Lois Lane with Rachel
yeah.
something,
The
the
marvelous
marvelous
Miss
Miss
Maisel
Maisel. Yeah.
herself.
Oh my gosh, she is so brilliant in that. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
it's
actually
such
looking
a fun
forward.
show with witty dialogue, and she just
Oh yeah,
pulls it, dude, just so well.
when
But
you
yeah,
have an actress of that caliber playing Lois Lane, you know it's going to be a good casting choice. I think James Gunn really did good with this one.
well, she's gonna have a big part in it.
Oh yeah,
And she definitely looks the part. She looks like a smart journalist, kind of reporter. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's not a bad casting. The thing about it is we have no fucking clue really because we have no details about what's going on. I mean, just having the casting, I don't know. People are weird. It's just so weird to me. You know, there have been Michael Keaton is the one that, comes to mind as the biggest one. You know what I mean? When he was cast as Batman back in 89 or whatever, 88, everybody fucking hated it. They
yeah,
were disgusted, despised this choice.
because they didn't think the guy who just recently just played Mr. Mom could pull off being Batman.
Exactly. Exactly. So
So
people
I
just need
mean,
to get
I
over
guess
it, y'all.
I
It's
guess
weird.
there was a thing. I was reading an article. I'm not sure how accurate it was, but said that Christopher Reeves actually liked Tom, the actor from Smallville.
Tom
and
Welling, yes.
yeah,
I
Tom
like
Welling
Tom
as
Welling
actually
too, man.
actually like Tom Welling as Superman. Said, no, that is your Superman now. So you
I don't
kind of
think
like
there has
passed the
been a
torch.
bad casting. I mean, hindsight being 2020, Dean Cain's kind of a dickhead, but he wasn't a
Massive
bad
dickhead.
Superman. He wasn't a terrible Superman for what that show was,
Mhm. That's why there was a post I posted on the group page of all the Supermen, and Dean Cain's picture kind of had a band-aid over saying that just ignore that one.
Yeah. We were talking about, hey Taylor, welcome to the show. We're talking about the Superman casting, Superman Legacy with Rachel, Marvelous Miss Maisel, and
I know her,
and
but I
some
had
guy.
not heard of the I had not heard of the guy who's going to play Superman.
Had you heard of Henry Cavill prior to the announcement of Henry Cavill?
You know what? No, I did not.
I mean, it's sort of par for the course, getting maybe a relatively unknown in there.
Yeah, I mean, I
think
didn't
it
know
works.
Brandon Routh before he was Superman in his admittedly
You
one and
did?
only movie.
You did?
No, I did not. I never
Yeah,
heard.
I did not.
Yeah.
I don't think I did either. Yeah, I don't think I did either.
And then I'm not old enough to remember any other Superman casting. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I always go to the Batman casting of Michael Keaton, and everybody fucking hated it. And it turned
Had
out to
he
be,
done much besides Beetlejuice at that point?
Yeah, he Mr. Mom. Did he do the one where he's in goes to AA? Had he done that one at that point? He's like, it's a real dramatic role,
But it
where
is
he
true that
plays
like
an alcoholic.
sometimes you have to trust that like the casting directors know stuff that you don't, that the actors haven't necessarily had an opportunity to display certain, like a lot of people were shitting all over the idea of like Chris Pratt being Star-Lord, but he's great as Star-Lord.
Oh, I know.
A lot of people,
he's wonderful as
a lot of
Star-Lord.
people are really down on Chris Evans being Captain America, and I can't imagine someone else being Captain America.
I remember people not liking Toby when he was first cast as Spider-Man. Then the Spider-Man movies came out, and then it's like, oh wait.
Yeah, and I can remember no one griping about Andrew Garfield being Spider-Man, and those movies ended up being kind of bad. I mean, I still love them, but relatively speaking, they're kind of bad.
They weren't his fault. Those movies are bad.
Those were studio's fault.
Like,
that was.
It was not because of the acting.
Man. That was production's fault. I got this weird stain on my. Oh man, I didn't even know I was wearing this shirt. I love this shirt.
Well, I like the Zelda reference, but it's
custom. Yeah, it's custom. It is
kind of a weird sexualization of it, but whatever.
All right, well let's do the stupid show. Let's do the stupid show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Next week.
Fucking hubris.
Right. How dare we? How dare we? Man, I hope somebody went and saw a new movie this week because I would love to talk about it, even though I did not.
I did not go see Indiana Jones or anything else. I'm probably going to see it this upcoming week, though.
Yeah. You definitely should, so we can talk about it. I have not seen it, but I know what happened. Greetings, Geek! Welcome back. Another episode of This Geek and Comics Outright Geekers Comic Book Shit Talk Show.
Shit Talk Show.
Taylor, Andy, Gomer with you tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Indiana Jones jumps the fucking shark. That's all I'll say. But this week, I can't help but continue to rave about fucking Star Trek Strange New Worlds on Paramount Plus. This is season 2, episode 3. It's called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Strange visitor comes aboard the Enterprise. All right. La'an Noonien Singh, she's the chief of security, and a descendant of Khan Noonien Singh, is handed this strange device. And then she goes to the bridge to see that Pike isn't the fucking captain anymore. It's Kirk. So it's all kinds of time travel shenanigans, all right? So they fuck around with this device, and Kirk and La'an get sent back to, like, our time.
So, hold on. Is this, like, Kirk... Is she, like, jumping forward when Kirk is the captain of the Enterprise? Or is there, like...
No.
There's, like, a time warp shenanigan where he's the captain before he should be.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is a time shenanigans. So, anyway, they come to this time, and, like, Kirk's, like, hustling chess so they can get money. Right? It's just so stupid, but man, that makes so much sense because they have literally 3-dimensional chess. In Enterprise, they talked about how rudimentary one-dimensional chess is. It's like an ongoing thing. But anyway,
well, that would be 2-dimensional. 1-dimensional chess would just be like.
Oh, you're right. 2-dimensional. Yeah, they're playing 2. 1-dimensional chess is impossible.
Yeah, it's a.
That's when you play in your head by yourself.
Yeah.
But it turns out in the future, in the present, whatever, the Romulans have this computer program that is telling them what they can do to fuck up the timeline to get over on the Federation. And the plan here is to assassinate Khan when he's a kid.
Okay.
Which suggests that if the Federation, if Earth, not the Federation, if Earth does not go through the eugenics wars, through their dark time, they never reach this enlightenment, right? And it was a real poignant episode for that reason, of course. But
that is an interesting premise.
yes,
Yeah. Like, in very Star Trek, you know, it kind of reminds me of like City on the Edge of Forever, where like he stops a woman from making her time better, which made the future worse. You know?
Yes. I mean, it's a perfect callback to that Hugo Award-winning episode. Okay, it won a fucking science fiction award.
That was probably my favorite episode of TOS.
Oh, it's the best episode. Well, Trouble with Tribbles is good just for silly reasons, but
there's lots that I like, but that's probably the best overall. Yeah.
So anyway, La'an, doesn't kill this kid. Kirk ends up getting killed in the past, but she ends up coming back to the future, her present, right? And she fell in love with Kirk. Her and Kirk fell in love on this adventure. Okay, but now that's no longer her Kirk, because she has reset the timeline. He's back to whatever Kirk he was, whatever. But it's also another level of poignancy there, because she has all of this guilt because of the baggage that the Singh name, the Noonien Singh name, has on her. You know what I mean? And she's like, I could have saved all these people, but I couldn't. And that would have, given me forgiveness. Dude, this is quickly becoming some of the best fucking Star Trek. Last episode was fucking amazing. Yeah, dude, they really have their fingers on the pulse of what Star Trek is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Without leaning into this nostalgia, not talking shit on it, but without wholly relying on the nostalgia.
As much as I love Picard, that really is just like, here's these characters you know and love. Happy 4th.
Yeah, happy 4th, Jeff, in the chat. Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, Picard is taking all these characters that you know and love and like, let's give you well-made fan service. But you're right, this does sound like what made Star Trek special in the first place. It sounds like they're doing more of that here.
They really are, dude. Yeah, I suggest everybody, check the shit out. What'd y'all do?
But you know what? I will say that I think this is the first time in Star Trek history that Khan has actually been played by a South Asian actor.
Dude, no shit. No, I mean, not shitting on Ricardo Montalban. Okay?
Oh, no, nothing to get... Ricardo Montalban, that's the best Star Trek movie, or at least it's up there.
Yeah.
Nothing against that.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then Benedict Cumberbatch in the more recent one, which is maybe my least favorite Star Trek movie.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing against Benedict as a person, but
he's great in it.
Oh, he's good in it, but I never had a problem with the acting in the new Trek movies. Just it wasn't Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. It was Star Wars with warp drive. Yeah. What'd you guys do this week? Anything worth mentioning?
This was one of my marathon D&D weekends, so that explains why I didn't get a chance to go see Dial of Destiny.
Fun. How'd it go? Anything cool?
I mean, without going into a lot of context, no, can't really give you much there.
Anything worth mentioning?
Not much worth mentioning. This worked.
Y'all boring. So watch more TV.
I do. Hey, I'm a dad. I have a boring life.
Dude, I'm a dad. I'm just terrible at it. Let's do news. It's very light news. And the reason for that is all of the publishers are saving their big announcements for Comic-Con. And I don't blame them, especially this year, because it's only going to be comics, basically. Everything else is pretty much gone because of the writer's strike and the upcoming actor's strike. So we'll start with Distillery. We talked about this new publisher. It's started by former Comixology execs Chip Mosher and David Steinberger. We talked about it before. Now we have more details on what we're actually going to get. So on August 30th.
Well, it's certainly not going to be vowels.
Yeah, no vowels.
They're not allowed in this universe.
Yeah. So on August 30th, we're going to get an anthology book called The Devil's Cut. All right. And it's going to have a whole lot of stories, 11 of them. That's a fucking lot for one book. But of those 11, 8 of them are going to become ongoing books. So we have an art preview on all of the books. This is Spectrograph by James Tynion and Christian Ward. We have no idea what any of these books are about. This is 8 Rules to Make It Out in One Piece by Elsa Chartier and P.K. Colinet. Nick Filardi is also helping out with art there. That's going to be okay. A Blessed Day by Mirko Andolfo, Fabio Amile, and Steve Orlando is helping out somehow. I'm not sure how that works. The one I think I'm most excited about is The Stowaway. This is Jacques writing and doing the art. That's pretty cool. Deleted Scene by Brian Azzarello and Medardo Rizzo. Wild Boat by Scott Snyder and Francesco Francavilla. Man, that is going to be one to look out for too, man.
That'll be good for the art, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's going to be good. And then finally, White Blighted Flame Burns in Thee. Man, that is a weird title. Oh wait, no, this is the Francavilla book. That's obviously Francavilla. I don't know who the fuck this is. Well, that they might both be Francavilla. I don't know. Anyway, there it is. What Blighted Flame Burns in Thee, and then there's some of the interior art. That's Becky Cloonan and Hula Lotte. Man, that looks fucking wild.
That does. That almost has like kind of J.H. Williams III kind of energy to it. You know?
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. It's gorgeous. But literally, that's only details we have. If you recall, the business plan here is that all of these creators are founding, quote unquote, founding creators. They'll get a 3% cut, and also the company is creating a digital scarcity, meaning that when these books are available from Distillery, they're only going to be available for like a week. And after that, you'll have to buy it on a digital marketplace from someone who has already bought it. And a share of that selling price will go back to the creators. Physical paper copies will also be available via the regular channels. They're definitely hitting the ground running here. I still don't think I understand how that business plan is going to end up working. It sounds like a pirate dream. You know what I mean? Because you're getting like an NFT of a fucking comic book, basically. And people hate those. You know what I mean? People are disgusted by those.
I mean, I'm not against the concept of NFTs, like as like a way of sharing digital files, but like the stuff that people are doing with NFTs, where people are like buying like NFT artwork, and it's
I mean, I mean, I get it. I know. Let me.
As a tradable commodity, yes, it's absurd. But like, it's just a way of like sharing data. Sure, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, and even then, what you're saying is blockchain is okay. I agree with you there in theory, but blockchain is kind of weird. Okay, but NFTs, digital securities are stupid. They're dumb. They're dumb. How about all securities are dumb? All property is stupid. Anyway, so Distillery, The Devil's Cup, we'll be looking for that one. I will definitely get my hands on a copy and read it. But there's a lot of books.
The ground running.
Exactly. They're hitting the ground running.
Yeah, they got some big names that they're putting in
here. Right. And they're paying them, seemingly pretty well.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're basically taking the same kind of energy, at least, that Image was trying to bring to the table back in the 90s. But, here we are 2 decades later, and Image is part of the man now, Yeah.
I mean, you're not
part
wrong.
Of the problem.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right, moving on. Talking about another problem. Valiant Entertainment, the comic book publisher that's only been publishing one comic book per month for the last half year or so, has now licensed their characters and the publishing rights for their comic book characters to a New York-based publisher called Alien Books. This publisher will presumably now push more than one book per month, but we really don't have details. If you remember last Monday, I talked about this Howard Chaykin book called Sunshine Patriots. That's on Alien Books. So they are definitely putting out, content.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a crazy trip for Valiant, dude. In 2007, Dinesh bought them, restarted shit. And they had some really good success, up until 2018 when DMG, a Chinese entertainment company, bought them. We got that shitty Bloodshot movie. I'm sorry. It was shitty.
I never did see it.
It was not great.
Regardless of how good or bad it was, that was the worst possible timing because it came out right as the lockdown was starting.
Yeah.
There's a Bloodshot movie?
Yeah,
there was a Bloodshot movie. It came out like within the week of like everything shutting down.
Yeah, dude.
That sucks.
Yeah, so it was a big, huge victim of the pandemic. But I'm anxious to see what they're going to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that many people are going to recognize, like, amongst like John Q. Public, like not many people know who like Ninjak or EXO or Bloodshot are.
Right.
Even Bloodshot, who had a movie, most people probably wouldn't recognize him.
Exactly.
But this is a pretty good roster of characters. They do have an established fan base, so yeah, this could be a mutually beneficial arrangement. It's Valiant very clearly needs some help here, and
it's DMG. You know, I think the people at Valiant know what they're doing, but DMG as a company just did a whole bunch of fucking layoffs.
I'm not trying to lay blame here. I'm just saying, like, whatever the situation
sure.
at Valiant is, it needs some sort of help.
Valiant is kind of
lots of help.
Yeah, exactly. And Valiant is kind of unique, like Marvel and DC. They actually own the rights to their characters. There aren't any other publishers but Marvel and DC that do that. What, Gold Key, maybe? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So them doing this kind of like, this is sort of like if Hasbro said, we're giving the license to Transformers and G.I. Joe to Skybound. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's the same thing, only kind of in reverse, or maybe with a different, a different direction, because it's so weird that they have this huge conglomerate parent company, just like Marvel and DC, but cannot get their fucking shit together to publish comics.
Yeah.
It boggles the mind, dude. It boggles the fucking mind. So, but this can only mean good things. All right, these are great characters, dude. Evar Time Walker,
other than like,
I love that shit.
Yeah, other than like literally stopping entirely, they cannot do worse than putting out one comic issue a month.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go but up.
Exactly. Some of the rumors were that they were actually going to license this shit out to Marvel or DC or perhaps Image Comics.
I don't even understand what the point of that would be,
To mix those characters up with two of the most successful brands in comics.
But what are the Valiant characters bring into Marvel, and what does Marvel bring into the Valiant characters? I mean, one of the most recognizable parts of Valiant is how they have, like, evil Professor X.
Right. Right.
What does that even mean in a universe where, like, the actual X-Men exist?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, when you have characters like XO and Bloodshot, it's just like they don't mix with any other characters besides the ones in their own universe.
Well, and you're right. It's like XO is basically just Thor and Iron Man shoved together. Bloodshot is kind of like Punisher and Wolverine together. You know what I mean? They are kind of like these weird amalgams of characters from the big two. So yeah, it really wouldn't, have worked out. There's still rumor that they're going to do that Ninjak anime sort of thing, and
so they can do Snake Eyes but can talk. Yeah,
that's it. Snake Eyes who could talk. Exactly. I mean, Faith is cool, but she's really just kind of like a Superman,
It sounds like I'm dumping on it, but I am glad that Valiant is going to survive, it seems.
Yeah, and I love Valiant, dude. I've had a lot of fun with their shit. Even when Dinesh was there, when Dinesh was hanging out.
I'm always looking forward to a good EXO comic book. I like EXO.
EXO Unconquered is out right now. It's not bad. Becky Cloonan's doing it.
Yeah.
It's Becky Cloonan and Liam Sharp.
It just seems like they just had their heads up their asses for the past year and a half.
Yeah. Well, it's hard when you're only putting out one book a month. It's hard to build buzz, especially in a shared universe where you expect there to be interactions between certain characters.
I mean, from both a readership standpoint and also from like a pure economic standpoint, that is just, you cannot keep the lights on selling one issue a month.
Mm-hmm. Lucky for them, they have a big, giant conglomerate, parent company. He's finally got their head out of their ass and doing something. Finally, in a shitty week for news, the White Widow #1 has been announced by Sarah Gailey. She did a book for Buffy and also Eat the Rich, which was not a terrible book. Alessandro Miracola, who did the Obi-Wan and the Yoda book. It's White Widow #1, out November 1st. It's all about Yelena Belova, the other Widow. Black Widow, but the other one.
Yeah, well, this is of course them like getting the character some more exposure in advance of like the Thunderbolts movie and other usage of the character coming out. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. And hey, this could be pretty cool.
It's not bad.
I'm not familiar with the writing of the with the work of the creative team here, but yeah, that looks like a pretty cool cover. You know, it's a character that could have a lot of cool things going on.
It's David Marquez cover, by the way.
Oh well, fuck me then.
4-issue miniseries, so I'm not expecting much. But again, in a week where there was no fucking news, we'll talk White Widow. We'll talk about that book in November when it comes out, if we're still here.
If we can keep the lights on here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's do it. All right. Episode 2, Secret Invasion Promises. That was the name of the that was the title of the episode. Man, this was solid as hell.
Yeah.
Shining moments were Rhodes and Fury having their conversation.
Yeah, that was probably the highlight of the episode for me. Was I really liked Don Cheadle coming in here and really acting the hell out of the scene. You know, it was two great actors having some great dialogue. And
wasn't Don Cheadle in Hotel fucking Rwanda? I mean,
he is an outstanding actor.
He's amazing. He's an amazing guy, dude. Yeah.
But I really like what it means for Rhodey as a character too. You know, like you expect to just like walk in here and like, you know, hey, my old pal Rhodey will fix everything for me. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
Remember Age of Ultron when he's like, oh, I just borrowed a helicarrier. I just borrowed a like $10 billion, you know, aircraft carrier that flies, you know. No, you ain't got that kind of weight no more, old man. You ain't got that kind of weight no more. Right? And I really like that. Rhodey definitely a Skrull, though. He feels just, I don't know. This show is making me ask, who am I fucking supposed to trust?
That's the whole entire point behind the Secret Invasion is like, who can you trust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these motherfuckers need to get something for this, just for this whole scene right here. It was just wonderfully fucking done. I loved it. But another big thing, probably the biggest thing, is they're building the Super Skrull.
Yeah. Yep. I guess Extremis is the Human Torch. I guess Cull Obsidian is the Thing.
Frost Beast is kind of, I don't know. It's hard to.
Well, I guess the Fantastic Four analogs in there. Groot's kind of like a bootleg Mr. Fantastic, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I love all of this. Pretty easy to get all of these parts. I don't know if you'll remember, but the Frost Beast was actually a leftover from the Thor 2 post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had forgotten all fucking about that. And then it was a great nod for the Cull Obsidian hand that, you know, Wong knocked the shit out of, you know. I guess last thing for me on this, man, Olivia Colman as Sonya Fallsworth.
She is amazing.
She is amazing in this fucking show.
She really just dominates all these scenes that she finds herself in. She is a bad bitch.
She plays great. That part so perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Even I was like, man, I know you're acting, but I want to slap you.
Yeah, you know the actor is doing their job when you like have an emotional reaction to the work they're doing. Jeff chiming in at Secret Invasion episode 2 was awesome. He thinks Rhodey was replaced as far back as Iron Man 2. Holy shit.
You are correct. Yeah, Terrence Howard and God, I guess that was close to 20 years ago now. Was the original?
I don't.
Yeah. No, it was 15 years ago, I think.
I don't think that's what Jeff meant, but I don't think that's exactly what he meant. But dude, if he was, and they can sort of like,
as a Skrull. Okay,
a Skrull. No, I thought. I thought.
Okay, I misread what you were saying there entirely.
Yeah, I don't think Rhodey's a Skrull. He was replaced both ways. He was replaced by actors and by a Skrull. So
yes, exactly. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be revealed that he's a Skrull, and then Terrence Howard will now be playing.
I really hope that's not the case because I feel like that would be such. It would really take a lot of the mustard out of that scene for like. The reason he's not actually helping Nick Fury is because he's a Skrull. It would be a much better way for the show to develop where he's not helping Nick Fury because he thinks Nick Fury has like lost it, you know?
Yeah, he legitimately thinks that Nick is wrong.
This is crazy ass Nick Fury, the paranoid.
Yeah. Well, and that's another angle to it. He is wrong. He doesn't see all of the picture. The audience sees more of the picture than he does, and I'm lost as fuck. You know, so I can't imagine where he at. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine. But yeah, fantastic episode. This is.
Oh, and I guess the big reveal was that Nick has a wife. I saw the meme for that. Where like, honey, where is my soldier suit? Or, you know,
yeah, where's my super suit? But she's a Skrull, and she's a Skrull.
She is.
Yeah. Which I saw another thing where he had her change into somebody else. He had her change into Scarlet Witch before he gave her a kiss. But that's way less highbrow than "Where's my super suit?" Because that was funny as hell. But yeah, I still don't know where the show's going. There's only 4 episodes left.
Yeah, we are a third of the way through it.
Yeah, which seems really odd, dude, to me.
Well,
it does.
Moon Knight was only 6 episodes, and I can't. That felt like it was pretty perfectly paced.
You're right. You're right.
I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but they could have trimmed a little bit of the fat off of that. So I think the shorter run time is probably for the best here.
Right. So yeah, excellent episode. One more from Jeff. That's what I love about the show, though. It keeps us guessing. Yeah, it does. It keeps us wondering what the fuck is going on. Yeah.
This is spy shenanigans. This is Cloak and Dagger. We're not going to know fully what's going on until the end of this, really.
And even then, they should still keep some of that mystery going and push us into a season 2 or something else going on in the MCU.
Yeah.
Okay, because right now in the MCU, they're really leaning into Quantumania, into Loki, into this multiversal shit. How could this little tiny thing, this little intergalactic, skirmish, because that's all it is. Earth's a backwater shithole compared to the rest of the universe. Or the galaxy. Seen
according to the fucking High Evolutionary, apparently it's like the greatest cultural touchstone for the entire galaxy.
It's so weird.
No, we're not.
I live here my whole life.
We're the Florida of the universe.
Yeah, we are the Florida of the galaxy. Okay, where people go on vacation.
We are so backwater.
Yes, this is where the immigrants go before they go someplace better. Okay, than Florida. Okay,
this world is not the best world out there in the MCU.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Yeah. Anyway. The High Evolutionary is an untrustworthy narrator either way. Okay, he just
Earth is a great place. The High
Earth is a great place to hang out. No, it's not. Have you seen Earth?
Have you been here for 5 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, really, they just needed an excuse for why all of his experiments were Earth animals.
Yeah, right. Why the raccoon and the bunny? Yeah, why? He's just got a fetish. He's got an Earth fetish.
Yeah, and I heard that Disney actually got in touch with some of the people who worked on the original Secret Invasion to help with this series. So they may help a little bit there. So
yeah,
keeping that nice Cloak and Dagger stuff working.
Well, they always give folks the shout out. Brian Michael Bendis always gets the first one. I should actually grab that screenshot every week too for the Secret Invasion. Which comic book creators are thanked in the credits of Secret Invasion, but because Bendis wrote Secret Invasion and wrote it perfectly, I mean, it was his entire plan from the first page of New Avengers when Jarvis is wearing the green handkerchief and he turns out to be a Skrull. I mean, and he's had podcasts where he says, no, I'll take you through,
all of these step by step.
Yeah, all these places in my New Avengers run where I pointed, no, there's a Skrull invasion happening right now.
Yeah, and then he did Secret Invasion. Everybody's like, wait, what? This was going on the whole entire time? And blew everybody's mind.
It really did, dude. It really did. And I think that was the fall of Brian Michael Bendis. There's no way you could repeat something like that. There's no way you can do it. Unless you're Jonathan
Hickman. Was him hitting his apex. Yeah,
unless you're Jonathan Hickman. He just keeps getting better. Although 3 Worlds, 3 Moons, I still don't know what the fuck is going on. Anyway, let's do.
We will.
Yummy.
We're doing food, Andy. No more Bendis.
Food.
All right, let's start with the good one first. Okay, Oreo and Nintendo have teamed up to do cookies. All right, now this is not unheard of. Okay, but there is a lot of different angles here. Like, you see how they have different shapes on them, different characters, different things from the video game. All right. Some of them are harder to find than others. Like, it's really hard to find a Bowser cookie, is what I'm hearing.
Oh, okay. So they're
collectible.
They're like Pokemoning this shit. They're wanting you to go out. I was
going with Magic cards, but yes, you're exactly right.
Oh, Magic cards a better example, yeah.
They are Pokemoning this shit.
So basically, it's like, hey, look, I found a Princess Peach, and it's like, that's the rarest one of all.
I'll trade you 3 peaches for a Bowser.
I'm not trading you Oreos. That's disgusting.
Man, I guess this is kind of them telling on themselves, though, because if they're selling these as collectibles, then I guess that's implying that they are making these like eternally lasting.
Yeah, I don't.
Not really questionably edible things.
That last forever, please.
I mean, am I going to send this?
I don't trust a cookie that lasts eternally.
Yeah. Am I going to send this off to like CCG and have them, grade my cookie and put it behind glass, to save forever the Bowser cookie?
Got to bag and board that shit.
We should,
yeah, you got to bag and board your cookie.
Maybe we should pile in together and see if we can find all 16 different cookies. And then
we're gonna go. That's right. We're gonna go to our local grocery stores, buy them out of the Super Mario Oreos, do a video where we're wearing the white gloves, because we don't want to damage the collectible. Very carefully open the package, show off. No, we're not doing that.
We should, just for the gag.
Yeah. There's also a weird social media thing where you're supposed to take your cookies in Jenga style and stack them up and then wait until they fall into the milk, and whichever character is on the top, I don't know. Anyway, these are on sale now. Go get them. I don't give a shit.
They're just Oreos.
Yeah, they're fucking Oreos. Okay. I'm sorry. Double stuffed Oreos should just be called Oreos, and Oreos should be called Diet Oreos. That would make me feel better about eating an entire bag of Oreos in one night.
They do have a Diet Oreo.
I don't want that.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like
less like thins or something like that.
Oh, they're the thin ones.
Yeah, they're the Oreo thins. That's the Diet Oreo.
I'll just eat 2 bags of those. All right, and Dave actually turned me on to this one.
Oh god.
Pepsi has released or unleashes Cola Chup. It's exactly what it sounds like.
It tastes like a hot dog.
It's Pepsi infused ketchup, y'all. Okay, it sounds disgusting because it is. All right. It was developed to take hot dog enjoyment to the next level.
No, it's
Sometimes
not.
you just don't want to go to another level. Hot dogs have been around for hundreds of fucking years. They don't need a new level. They don't.
Hot dogs just need some ketchup and some ketchup on it, and you eat it. That's it.
I like a lot of condiments on my hot dogs.
Hot dogs are gross on their own if you think too much about what's in them.
No, we don't think about that.
And so you're kind of already like
and snots.
You're really pushing the boundaries when you ask me to put something that is pretty gross on top of a food that is already pretty gross.
Mm-hmm. PepsiCo actually worked with the Culinary Institute of America, consulting to develop the new Pepsi bullshit. They said the distinctive flavors and vibrant citrus blend of Pepsi enhances the bright and tangy characteristics of ketchup, offsetting the smokiness of the hot dog.
That's exactly what you don't want to hear.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Cola Chip. Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, nasty. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
That is the word for it.
My ass off.
This is only available at baseball games on July 4th. So you go to Chase Field in Phoenix, Yankee Stadium. You have to have a Pepsi Lounge ticket in New York for that one. Target Field in Minneapolis. Get your swerve on if you skip the zoo.
That's a lot of hoops you got to jump through for something that I probably would not accept if you offered it to me for free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Now, with this said, continue, Andy, please.
Oh yeah, because right here at Target Field, they already said that if you have it, if you have the scan, the QR code or whatever the scan code is,
yes,
they're already advertising the shit out of this, and I'm just like, I'm not even going to the game on Independence Day. I'm going to be at home grilling all day.
Yeah, me too. That's my hope, dude. And it might just be grilling hot dogs, but I ain't putting Pepsi ketchup on them.
And it's like, and they're like, oh, by the way, come try this thing. Like, no, I'm not gonna come to a baseball game just to try it. And they'll give it. They're like, no, we're gonna hand it out for free if you have the QR code. I'm like, no, I don't want it for free.
Yeah, that's not. Now, with that said, for a hot dog, I consider a hot dog like a canvas. Okay, I like a lot of shit on my hot dog: mustard, ketchup, kraut, pickle, like a whole spear of pickle, relish. I love a lot of shit on my hot dog.
Kind of sounds like some of the Homer dogs are
exactly.
They changed the name from Dome Dogs to Homer Dogs when they moved stadiums here. But yeah, that's kind of sounds like Homer Dogs.
Yeah, I love so much shit on my hot dog that you cannot taste the hot dog anymore. And I think that's the best way to eat it. I think that's the best way to eat a hot dog. So look for that.
The dog no more.
If you're listening and you do get out to one of these 4 baseball games, please let us know. how
I'm not going to the Twins game, so anybody else in Minnesota who's going,
Yeah,
let us know.
Let us know how that tastes. Let's do the moment. As promised, it's the short version. So yeah, we got the setup last week for the Autobots. Here's the Decepticons. I'm going to save you the Pokemon-esque commercial bumper quiz where they had everybody shadowed, and just let you know, a little surprising that Megatron's not there. It's Starscream, Soundwave, Skywarp, and then Soundwave's two homeboys, Rumble and Laserbeak. So there you go. This book comes out October 4th. These bad guys will protagonize the revealed Autobot team that we talked about last week of Optimus Prime, Ratchet, Cliffjumper, RC, and Wheeljack. We will continue to talk about the news and reviews of this new Energon universe. Every week we have some, but for right now, this is all we have, and it's kind of terrible. I was hoping for something.
Hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like Soundwave's little sidekicks there, I feel like that's not really giving us a full roster then. It's just kind of
Thank you.
3 actual characters and 2
mini bots is what they call them. Mini bots.
I think it's just gonna be more one of those types of
what?
Cutting in and out here.
Oh, type of what?
I was just saying we're cutting in and out. Yeah. But I was saying it's like I think it's a minimalist roster because I don't think they want to spoil too much about the comic book.
Hey, yeah, that's a nice lean in.
That's fair enough. And for the first arc, I wouldn't mind them, keeping it focused on a few characters because it gets pretty unmanageable when the roster of any team book gets too out of hand.
Budansky, who is the original writer of the Transformer comic, he helped come up with a lot of the names. Not Optimus Prime, that was Perez, who came up with that. But anyway, he had problems with that because he would be writing a character and he would really want to continue to write that character. But then word came from on high. Nope, we're trying to sell this toy this week.
Yeah.
So you gotta write somebody else.
When it's a television show comic book that's aimed to selling toys to kids, you got to take your orders from somewhere, and unfortunately, that's where we get some of these.
We got to introduce a new character. We got to introduce a new base. We got to give the Thundercats a tank. Whatever.
Yeah. And that's how the original, Transformers movie was. It was just basically we're going to kill off everybody to sell these new toys.
Exactly.
But Optimus Prime comes back 2 weeks later, kids. Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine.
He does. Man, my favorite part of that story is the G.I. Joe cartoon movie was also in development, and they changed the whole fucking movie because of that. They changed Duke was supposed to fucking die in that movie. Same with
the original Street Fighter movie with Gomez Adam Raul Ghul.
Yeah.
It was basically just to sell toys. So it's just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, anything put out now for kids is to put out toys.
Well, not anymore. I mean, this Transformers comic is just for the comic.
I would argue that it's way less prevalent than it was before. I mean,
in the
golden
80s,
age of properties as toy commercials was like the late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, once TMNT cartoons were pretty much done. Maybe Power Rangers lasted a little bit longer.
Sure, and that's not to say that it doesn't exist anymore. Like my nephew watches a lot of Paw Patrol, and that for sure is just like a big toy commercial for kids.
Yeah.
Same with my son. He watches a crap ton of Paw
ACAB
Patrol,
includes that cop in Paw Patrol. Just saying.
Yeah. Paw Patrol's evil, by the way.
Let's do top 3. Let's do top 3. F the police. Maybe that's what I'll do this week. I'll do a F the police, but it'll be with Paw Patrol. Honorable mention for Bryn Moore, #1, Steve Niles, Damian Worm. I actually dug this a little bit more than I think Andy did, but he was right. There was nothing on the bone. A lot of first issue syndrome going on here. It was passable just meeting these characters where they stand. There's a mystery here. It's a bit compelling. I am going to read issue 2 because I want to know what's behind that fucking door. Yes. But the art here was really solid. The art here was really good.
I agree with you. The art sold this book. The main protagonist is a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
This has everything. Like I said in my review, there was not much story there.
Right.
And except for here's your protagonist. He's a recovering alcoholic, and then he goes to this church to refurbish it because that's what he's going to do. He goes down in the basement, and then there's this giant cement door of ancient writing on it, and he's going to go open it. And I was like, that's the last thing you do, and that's how horror movies start.
He meets a couple people, but yeah, that's about it.
That's how horror movies start. Please don't do that.
Yeah, right. I'll also give a shout out to Green Arrow #3, just because.
Yeah, that's an honorable mention from me as well.
Fucking Legion showed up. Love it when the Legion shows up. Oh, and Parallax showed up. What?
Parallax,
yeah, so that was a good honorable mention.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff with like time travel shenanigans, including like old man Ollie is the one who told our current Ollie not to try to get back with his family.
So wild, dude. Yeah, Williamson's doing weird shit with the timeline here, and it's fun because it's not going to mean shit by the end of this series, right? My #3, because it was a shitty week, X-Men: The Heralds of Apocalypse. This is a Before the Fall. Ewing, Pizzari, Stefano Landini, Raphael Pimento.
This is actually my #1, just because it was kind of a slow week.
Yeah. What a long title.
This is the only book that would have made my top 3 in a normal week.
Yeah. It's a really long title for the last gaseous Cracona era. This read like an argument between spouses where each brings up like old shit, and then at the end of the argument, they just decide to end the fight so they can get on with the rest of their day. I do that with my wife at least, once a quarter. So I get it. It's at like this tiny chapter in the larger scope of the end of the Cracona era, but there really wasn't enough on here for me to care. We did get from point A to point B, but I think we were already at point B where Genesis / Annihilation was already going to head to see what the fuck's going on with Arakko. What do you mean they are on Mars now?
That's why I was kind of on my list.
This was effectively a recap book, kind of giving you information from like a few years ago if you didn't read Ten of Swords. But that being said, they do a pretty brilliant job with what's kind of a, obligation type of book here, because they provide a lot of interesting new context that we didn't have before. Like we find out that Genesis could have ended this a long time ago, but she didn't want to.
His finger and been done with it.
She is. It's not about power. It's about the fact that she cannot turn away from a war. She wants to fight. That she had the option to choose peace, and she did not want it.
Yeah, I think Al Ewing is leaning into something here. Like there's a higher level of. It's definitely a philosophy sort of thing, philosophical sort of thing.
And that is setting up something cool with like the new Arakko, right? Because Storm has started to turn them away from just always being about like war and conquest and domination. And now the old guard is showing back up. Mom's here and she is none too pleased with your art major, know.
Me and the wife just finished watching the final of The Flash, and it's like the whole entire message of that whole entire thing is like the more powerful you become, the more powerful you are, the more responsibilities you take, and the less you have to deal with all this like minor like street level stuff. And that's kind of like the message in this comic book is like, it is. Yeah, Genesis could just been like, no, done. I'm done with you.
Yeah. She doesn't know any other way to lead except from leading as a warrior.
Yeah.
And Apocalypse he knows how to lead as a warrior, but he has grown where he can lead from a place of peace. And I mean, the main reason this makes my top 3 is because Al Ewing writes Apocalypse so fucking well, dude. And he really does.
This didn't make my cut this week. I enjoyed it very much, but I got other things on my list.
Cool.
You don't have to justify it, man. It's fine.
You don't justify it. It's all good, bro. Love what you want. Taylor, honorable mentions. Top 3. Number 3.
Well, I've picked up exactly 4 books this week, so
pretty easy. Pretty easy.
Yeah. Honorable mention for Green Arrow. I already mentioned. We already talked about that, so we can move on. My number
great
3,
art in that too, if I could say. It was fucking wonderful art.
Oh yeah, it was good art. It was cool to see like the family dynamic stuff, and it was pretty cool to have all like the cameos, from like Parallax and Legion and stuff.
Do a Legion book, DC. Kiss my ass. Do a Legion book.
They did, and it was bad.
It was Bendis, and it was ass. Give it to Williamson. Give it to Johnson. Give it to anybody but Bendis.
Well, we still got that Dream book, right, Jonathan Hickman?
Right. Yeah. If he could stop fucking with the Ultimate Universe, and cool. Well, then number 3, since you only got 4 books, pretty easy.
Number 3 was Captain America: Symbol of Truth, number 14.
This was solid.
It was fun seeing Sam like kind of back in his neighborhood. It was kind of cool to see like him amongst his family and friends. this was kind of a wind down book. It does a lot of it centers around like the new Falcon trying to decide whether or not to get this cure that they developed for him because he's worried that like he won't be able to do good anymore.
Yeah, he
which
won't
they
have
kind
any
of presented
powers.
that as like weirdly sinister, but you know, it's whatever. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't.
They're all like cloaked in shadows, and we have a cure, Joaquin. You know,
the emotion didn't feel like
exactly
earned
like
to
that.
me. You know what I mean? The emotion of him. Oh, I can't be Falcon anymore, dude. You've been Falcon for like 3 issues. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, he's been Falcon for longer than.
No, that, I know, but it feels like, you know what I mean? They haven't endeared this character to me in a way that makes me give a fuck if he's going to give up his powers or not.
You would have needed to have read that Sam Wilson Captain America book
I
from
did
like
not.
5 years ago. Yeah,
that.
He was in that a lot.
This is issue number 14 of SOT. Yeah. There is no issue 15 solicited, but we do have Cap number 750 on the way.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm sure there will be an announcement.
I mean, to be perfectly frank, this probably would not have made my list most weeks, but this was really slim pickings this week.
Yeah.
The main reason it wouldn't have made my list most week is because the stand-up routine that the guy does in the middle of it was the weakest shit I have ever read.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that was corny as shit, dude. Oh my goodness.
That was just objectively bad.
Oh, I mean, it's.
I felt sorry for him. I never felt more sorry for a character doing a stand-up routine, and it's just like, dude, you're telling the wrong joke.
Dude, he killed.
Well, like in context, within the universe, he was doing really well, but like,
stop talking.
It fell flat for me as a reader because it was just like, you know, it was very.
It was corny.
Yes, it was corny. It was
corny
bad.
as shit, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was in the MCU, I would find that funny. But outside looking in, no, that's not funny. It was just bad.
Yeah, but even if I'm living in the MCU, he's making jokes about like 2 blocks away getting, blown up, and we live in the hood, so we're gonna be all right. It was kind of like, wow, that's offensive as fuck, dude. What are you talking about? Yeah, I felt bad for that guy, and I felt bad for myself.
Also, who devotes so much of their fucking stand-up routine to, like, one individual person like that?
It's like he knew he was in the crowd.
Yeah.
Maybe that was sort of part of it.
No, they said earlier in the book that he does this set all the time, and Sam had never been
to that's lame, dude. That's lame. All right, Andy, honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions this week goes to Animals.
See, I didn't see that book.
Yeah, this was just digital download only.
Oh,
you couldn't get it. You couldn't get it anywhere else. It's just basically if anybody's ever read Stephen King's The Zoo, but they're not zombie animals. It's just animals who get human intelligence and to start attacking people. There's not much. It's a horror book. It's kind of got a solid start to it. I mean, that's why it's only an honorable mention because it was $7.
Oh wow.
It was super expensive, and it was okay. I mean, there should have been a lot more to it because you expect a lot more from a $7 issue, but from a carrier that's I have my notes here. Let me grab my notes real quick from Invader Comics, and this is probably the only one they had coming out this week.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna expect a higher price, but like I said, it's just. Yeah, it's like they're not zombie animals; they're just hyper intelligent animals. It's like
Aftershock did a book that was kind of like that, where animals got smart. It went on for a good long while and had a second, series.
It's just hyper intelligent animals attacking people, and in the recent events of
Orca
attacking yachts, the orcas attacking yachts. Yeah, I just found that hey, that's perfect timing. I found it hilarious, and that's why I kind of enjoyed it for. That's why it's my honorable mention.
Good shout out.
My number 3 is The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos.
Oh, man, I skipped this altogether, man. The thing about it is this is his Substack thing. I've read this already.
Oh, you read this?
So I forgot all about it, yeah.
This is a very interesting, it's kind of got a nice, teenage angst to it. I mean, but it doesn't overplay it too much. And you have this, you have this super smart kid, Christopher Chaos, who's just all right, he's going to do all these wonderful things, but he's living this really pedestrian. No, it hits all these nice marks. It's got some pseudo horror to it. It's got a nice little coming of age story to it, and it touches a lot of good notes with the LGBTQ plus community.
Right.
There's a lot of things going on in it. It does have some issues in it. I mean, first issue is always going to have some issues in it. I mean,
of course.
But it's just like this kid who's just I'm super smart. What can I do?
He's super
with this?
gifted, and it's kind of like he can't get any footing in society. Like society keeps bringing him down. He can't get up.
He's always like,
he's looking for an in.
I'm up here. Everybody else is down here, and everybody's trying to bring me down to their level. But at the same time,
he wants to raise people up.
Yeah, he wants to raise people up, and people are not. Yeah, people are
not
just
really. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they're him and Han about it. It's like, no trust, and then he meets his this other guy, and that was a kind of cute meet between him and probably his future boyfriend.
It is.
Again, I read this whole series. There was a nice little cute meet there.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a very good, solid issue for a first issue. There's some first issue problems, but you can ignore it because they're kind of just a little minor.
Yeah. And it's James Tynion. He knows what he's doing, dude.
Yeah.
All right, that's back to me. Number 2, World Tree. Number 3, James Tynion again. Fernando Blanco. Just another fantastic issue of this like internet horror story. There is an underlying level of the internet that kills people, makes them go insane, and they murder people. And if this were to be unleashed on the world, it would lead to a huge apocalypse. And there is a billionaire tech guy who stumbled upon this really, really early in his career. And him and his friends have now reunited to try to stop it from, coming back. There was an instance in the first issue where they could tell that someone had seen the World Tree. And this it continues to be fantastic. I think I'm going to retire it after this issue because I think it's just going to go on to be
It's
amazing.
already been officially retired because of this issue.
It's so good.
I cannot put that on my top 3 anymore at all because after reading this issue, it's like, no, because if every issue is going to be this good, I cannot put it on my top 3.
Yeah. The pacing is perfect. The art is just outrageously good.
It's outrageously good. That's why it's not on my top 3 this week because I cannot put it on there because I'll talk up for an hour about one book.
Yeah. Jeff in the chat, World Tree is just awesome. Tynion is such a great writer. Yeah, dude. He's really pushing for best of the year in terms of writing for me right now. We're only halfway through, but man, great book, great series from a couple of great creators.
Yeah, it's just such a great book.
Yeah. Taylor.
My number 2 is City Boy, number 2.
That is my number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of it picks up where the last one left off with City Boy actually like activating the more aggressive version of his powers, bringing parts of the city to life. But it does kind of continue this trend where like people are like, okay, a person who could easily kill me with his powers, I want you to use your powers,
Yeah.
That's the last thing you want to do.
And but this dude is all dark-sided up. His Lord Darkseid wants him to do it, so he's doing it. I kind of get that. Like, this scientist is like a really mad scientist. You know what I mean?
Sure. And that wasn't a knock.
Greg Pak. No, I get it, but I think that's what Greg Pak was trying to do, was say, yeah, this dude is fucking crazy. Artist Niku Jung did a great job with the art here. It's full of stuff like this, where it's.
I do love in this book where they actually bring up the fact that whatever city he's in is like the larger the city is, the larger his powers are. Basically, they just lay down the law where it's like, no, the bigger the city it is, the more powerful I am.
Yeah. This would have never made my top 3 any other week, at least of the last month, and I'm not even sure that I completely understand this character or his abilities. They are kind of dumb. They're kind of dumb powers. It's kind of a stupid fucking power.
It does have a lot of interesting implications, and that is something that I'm hoping they finally get into in the next few issues here. I'm really glad that Superman showed up at the end.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping that this becomes is like, he kind of like gets in tune with the unique qualities of the iconic cities of the DC universe. He... like Metropolis being this place where Superman lives, and that creates like this beacon of hope within the city. But then if he goes to like Gotham, it's like this like tainted, miserable but like hard-edged place.
Yeah, and then he's supposed to be going to Themyscira at some point. I love that they're going to hit the Trinity there and dive into City Boy. Hopefully, that's what they're going to do in these last few issues, is dive into these cities as characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I want to kind of see, and I want to see
I'd
that.
like to see Central City.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe eventually.
Man, I think we got 6 issues. They're getting
they should start with the top 3.
They've already spent 2 of them here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting what we're getting at this point.
Yeah. So we get Darkseid, we get Superman. This book's got a whole lot of fucking potential, but it hasn't reached it yet. But Greg Pak he knows how to tell a fucking good comic book story, and he did it in this. You can't deny it. So yeah, that was my number 1. But actually, we were on Taylor's number 2, which leads us to Andy's number 2.
My number 2 is Dust. Number 1 from.
Man, I wasn't able to find a copy of this, man. I really wanted to.
I had to like special order all these comic books weeks in advance. That's why I was like, because my comic book shop doesn't get them unless I like order them like 2 to 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
this is the one from Scout Comics, where Jupiter ignites, and now there's 2 suns, and the rich people live underground in protection.
Yeah, and the whole entire premise of the story is that all these rich people are just like, haha, we live in this utopia. And it's like, huh? And the rest of humanity is left to die on the surface of Jupiter. And we're just like, wait, what? No. And then it's about this whole entire survival story. And, there's nowhere else to go. So how are we going to change things? And there's like nice little mystery aspect to it. But, it's a lot better than some of the other stuff I read this week. I mean,
it was a very light week, man.
I just didn't want to stick to like standard issue comic books. That's what
you shouldn't. Yeah, especially on a week like this where all of the quote unquote powerhouse publishers are putting out, basically shit. It's nice to.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff from the major companies, but this I just want to get shout outs to all the independent stuff.
Yeah, they definitely like do their lesser known titles here in the last week of the month.
Yeah, dude. And isn't the last, or I guess it is. I guess it was the last week of the month.
It was this last week. Yeah.
That's why my top 3 is a little different.
Weird. Mine's weird too. Top 3 this week is
I didn't want to give shout outs to like Image or Marvel or DC. They didn't get enough love. And I just want to give shout outs to everybody else.
And just pick the books you like best. I mean, you don't have to play politics with it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But yeah, that leads us to number 1. Again, my number 1 was City Boy. Even though Ghost Rider was dope. Ghost Rider was fucking sick this week. I think we already talked about Taylor's number 1 was the X-Men.
Heralds of Apocalypse.
Heralds of Apocalypse. Very well done. Fun art in there. So again, that comes back to Andy and his number 1 book of the week. I know, right?
Close out the day. My number 1 is from IDW. It's Godzilla, the Best of the Rodan.
Oh yeah, I didn't grab this one either. Man, what an unpredictable week. Wasn't this all just reprints anyway?
Yeah, it was a reprint, but it's still pretty damn good.
Awesome.
It was.
I mean, you can't beat a Godzilla book, man.
Not really. It wasn't 100% reprint. There was some fresh stuff in it, but you had big kaiju's fighting, and this.
Of course, it's awesome.
I just needed big kaiju's fighting this week. I guess that was kind of hit a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah.
I love horror. I like mystery. I like giant kaiju's fighting. Put all those together. That makes my top 3.
Nice. And I mean, nothing beats.
I mean,
solid Godzilla story. You know what I mean? If it's a good Godzilla story, it's fucking gonna be great.
Yeah. For 100 pages at $7, it was actually worth the price. So
nice.
It was a double-sized. It was almost triple-sized issue.
Nice.
And it wasn't a bad grab. I mean, I'm just most of it was reprinting. Most of it was just like,
right.
Oh, hey, remember this when this happened? But there's some fresh stuff peppered in there to make it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, they had all the nice kaiju fights. You had stuff from I think. There was a King of Monsters and Rulers of Earth and other stuff in there.
Yeah, that King of Monsters is one of the best Godzilla verse, comics ever. Yeah, dude.
I probably couldn't name all of them. I think there was like 5 different stories in this one alone. And it was more of like an anthology album, but it's like, no, it was just so well paced and all the kaiju fights. And you had Godzilla just coming and going like, no, fuck you, I'm the King of Monsters. Screw you all. I don't care who you are.
Awesome.
But it's like, but it gave a lot of love to Rodan, which is like my second favorite Godzilla character.
Nice.
So that's kind of why it's my number one. I just have to be like, yay, kaijus.
Right. And really, that's what it's about, dude. If you had fun with something,
this was
especially on a week like this, man. Especially on a week like this.
It was a week.
Yeah,
and
it was
and
not
then
a great week.
And then we got next week, which is just uber fun with finally get the
we
get the deaf in the family. We get the deaf finally. We get the deaf issue next week.
I know you say that. So we're about wrapping up. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. But come back tomorrow. Tomorrow night, same time, we're going to be talking about all of the new comics that are coming out this week. Depending on how the holiday works, depending on the UPS strike, we will be reading a whole bunch of comics. But before we do that, we're going to talk about them all. So come back tomorrow night, hang out with us, do that. Check out the Comic Book Bullies. I'm pretty sure they're still doing a show tonight. Leroy and Eli doing their pop culture thing. I don't know if either of them saw Indiana Jones either. But tune in and find out. Man, Indiana Jones jumped the fucking shark. I'm sorry. Thought aliens were fucked up. There's only one more thing they can do, and you can guess it. But anyway, check them out.
If it's not Nazis and it's not aliens, you can take a wild guess on what it is.
Yeah. So yeah, check out the Comic Bullies on these channels and others. If you want links to what they got going on and everything that we've got going on, go to outrightgeekery.com. Patreon merch, all the social medias, all the video channels, the audio channels, and the group where Andy is kicking it.
Hey, what? That's me.
Yeah, I mean, man, in the past 3 days, he's done, hey, welcome these new people to the group. And it's like a 20-person list of fucking people. So, yeah, it's growing by leaps and bounds over there. So much fun.
We're getting close to that 17K mark.
Ooh, Jeff chimed in. Great show. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you and your very low standards. And Jeff, he's so glad that he made it Sunday Ritual. Man, that's so nice, dude.
We are
we're like church. We're like church.
Bar.
We're like church now for Jeff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna plug some of my own little shit here for a second.
Oh, do it.
So like I posted on the group page, if you remember, hey, you already know, but at the end of this month, we'll officially anoint me as 1 year of running the group page. Thanks to everybody who has been part of the group page, who's helped build it from
it's more than doubled in size.
From the 9,000 members that we started now to knocking on the door of 17K.
Yeah, I thought it was less.
We're gonna have a nice little celebration. Yeah, we're gonna have a nice little celebration. It's gonna take over Movie Geekery for that Saturday.
Nice. Yeah, the ID4 one was great. I never catch those live, but I do listen to them in the background while I'm cleaning the kitchen.
Yeah, the Independence Day 4 was actually a fun one because I told my wife that it's like from now on I'm going to be inserting little inside jokes for all of them, like the sex god one and
I mean, I should actually watch that. It is the time of season to watch Will Smith punch an alien in the face.
Independence Day is
Welcome to Earth,
like the ultimate 90s movie in a lot of ways.
It really is.
And it does feature the greatest extra in cinema history. Can you guys guess who I'm talking about?
Brent Spiner?
Yeah.
He's not an extra. He's a named character.
He's a main character. Side character.
Extra in there?
The dude who gives the salute after Bill Paxton's big speech. Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, like
power.
That guy had one moment to make his mark on the cinema world, and he fucking nailed it. I have no idea who that guy is.
How about Dirty Dancing at the end, the blonde that screams her head off? She's in the running.
Not bad, but
she's in the running. I'm sorry. This is great. That blonde. She's into it, bro. I mean, this is like a debate show. We'll have.
You are not giving us credit to Salute Guy. The intensity on his face. The sheer patriotism that he brings to that salute.
But I mean, that speech, though, bro.
That's why. That's why. I mean, if you watched it live, my wife got it right away because my wife knows me really well. It's like Bill Paxton is my second favorite fictional president of the United States of America. My number one is Dave because he was pretending to be a fictional president of the United States of America.
Nice. Wow, Dave, what a shout out. Wow.
Oh, that's pretty
when you have to pretend to be a president of the United States of America.
I like Morgan Freeman in Deep Impact, man.
I can never get over the premise of Dave.
Neither,
there's a guy out there who looks exactly like they're not twins. There's no sci-fi shit going on. He's just a guy who looks exactly like the fucking president.
I mean, it's weird.
The one guy who did the whole entire Bush television show for Comedy Central. He's a dead lookalike for W.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He's a dead ringer for W.
Yeah. But again, Morgan Freeman in Deep Impact.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. Yeah, he makes my top
Chef's
5.
Kiss. He's wonderful. Oh, I love it. I love it. Taylor, no favorite fictional president actor?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
We're talking fictional presidents on Independence Day. Let's go.
Yeah, right. I actually am going to look for Independence Day. I guarantee you I can find it. But again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Most of all, thanks to these guys for hanging out with this guy.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
That was too early.
I'll allow it, Taylor. I'll allow it.
He was sitting there waiting for us to comment on the Ted Lasso thing, I think.